Whoever decides to keep an Israeli hostage in their house will end up getting a visit from another Israeli, or maybe a couple of them. Dogs. It's 11 in the morning on June 8, 2024. The sun beats down vertically on the asphalt of Nusirat in the center of the Gaza Strip. It's a market day. There's noise, vendors shouting, the smell of spices mixed with the dust from the rubble. Thousands of murdered people walk through the narrow streets of this refugee camp, which is actually a concrete urban fortress. Among the crowd, an old white truck moves forward, followed by a worn-out civilian car. They look like just another family, displaced from Rafah looking for a place to sleep. The women in the back seats wear long veils, hijabs, and abayas that cover their faces and bodies. No one pays attention to them. They are invisible. But under those black robes, there are no refugee women. There are elite operators from the Amman unit disguised as refugees with compact assault rifles and their fingers on the trigger. They are 200 meters from their target. This isn't a nighttime raid. There's no darkness to protect them. They have decided to go in broad daylight into the heart of the beast, surrounded by tens of thousands of civilians and hundreds of Hamas terrorists. If anyone notices anything strange, if a child screams, if a guard sees a weapon, they'll die. But their death isn't the worst part. The worst part is that intelligence confirmed what they hoped would be a miracle. If he ever detects the rescue in one building, he has orders to immediately execute the hostages in the other. The truck stops. The engine shuts off. Welcome to Operation United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. To understand the madness of what's about to happen, we have to go back 28 days. On May 12, 2024, a golden piece of information arrives at the desks of Shin Bet. For 8 months, Israel has been blind. Since October 7th, Noah Argamani, Al Mohmir, Jan, Andrei Kozlov, and Shlomi Ziv have been ghosts. Kidnapped at the Nova Festival, dragged away on motorcycles, and swallowed by Gaza's network of tunnels and safe houses. We knew they were alive, but we didn't know where until a mistake or a betrayal turned on the light. Intelligence finds the four in Nuseirat. They're not in tunnels. They're on the surface, hidden in plain sight in civilian family apartments. But there's an impossible tactical problem. They're not together. Noah Argamani is alone on the first floor of a building. Meanwhile, the other three men, Almo, Andre, and Shlomi, are being held on the third floor of another building, separated by 200 meters. 200 meters in an urban battlefield is a chasm. If Building A is attacked, the guards in Building B will hear the gunfire and pull the trigger before anyone can cross the street. The only option is perfect timing. They have to hit two targets in two different locations. At the exact same second, Shin Bet launches a turning point operation, a leak worthy of a Cold War spy movie. Undercover agents, pretending to be locals, they rent an apartment near the targets, shop at the market, talk to the neighbors, map out every window, every door, every guard, every escape route. They discover that the hostages aren't in cells. They're in the homes of well-off families connected to Hamas. Noah is in the house of the Al-Yamal family, where a doctor and a journalist from Al-Yasira live. Meanwhile, in Israel, the Yaman unit builds full-scale models of the buildings. They enter day and night, repeating the entry until their muscles memorize every angle. But one last decision is missing. Prime Minister Netanyahu and Defense Minister Gallant meet on a Thursday night. The military chiefs lay their cards on the table. Doing it at night is safer for the soldiers, but Hamas waits at night. Their guards are more alert in the darkness and in the silence of the shadows. Doing it during the day at 11 in the morning is a tactical suicide if something goes wrong, but it's the card of total surprise. No one expects an Israeli commando shopping in the market at lunchtime. The code name is Summer Seeds and the order is given, we're going during the day. So let's go back to the market. It's 11:00 hours. The signal is transmitted over encrypted radios and the word is given, go ahead. The doors of the moving truck and the white car swing open. The facade of a displaced family falls apart. In a second, the Yaman operators jump onto the asphalt. It has to be a matter of seconds. In the first building, the assault team burst through the door of the apartment where Noah Argaman is being held. The surprise is total. Noah is sitting paralyzed. She has spent 245 days in hell, forced to wash dishes for her captors, forced to read the Quran, dressed like a Palestinian woman so no one would recognize her. What if they move her from the place? In less than 6 minutes, the operators secure the room. They call you Noah. We're coming to take you home. She is in shock, but she's alive. Her rescue is clean, surgical, almost too easy. But 200 meters away in the second building, luck is different. The team led by Chief Inspector Arnon Zamora arrives on the third floor, where the three men are. But here, I was never ready. The moment they try to break down the door, a wall of lead erupts. The guards open fire with heavy machine guns from inside. It's a close quarters fight in a very narrow hallway. Arnon Zamora, a decorated veteran who had already saved lives on October 7th at the kibbutz, Yad Mordecai, doesn't hesitate. He rushes forward to absorb the fire and clear the way for his men. In that moment, he is mortally wounded, but his sacrifice buys crucial seconds. His comrades pass over his body and eliminate the guards. They enter the room and find Alma, Andre, and Shlomi. They are disoriented, they don't understand what's happening, and they are malnourished. Andre had been chained up for months, suffering constant physical and psychological abuse. The operators shout over the radio the phrase all of Israel had been waiting for. The diamonds are in our hands. It's 11:15. They have the 4 hostages, they have the diamonds, but now they have to get out. And this is where the seeds of summer turn into Black Hawk Down. The element of surprise has expired. The sound of gunfire has woken up the entire refugee camp. You say that is not just a neighborhood, it's a dispero? Hundreds of Hamas militants come out of the tunnels from the tents and neighboring houses, armed with grenade launchers, RPGs, machine guns, and sniper rifles. The operators load the wounded Commander Zamora and the hostages into the extraction vehicles. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration team manages to move quickly, but the vehicle carrying the 3 men, a modified truck, makes a fatal mistake or suffers a mechanical failure. No one knows for sure at that moment, but the vehicle gets stuck. They are standing in the middle of a hostile street surrounded by tall buildings from which fire rains down on them. If they don't do something in the next 3 minutes, they'll all die. The hostages they just rescued and the soldiers who went to save them, the Israeli army stops being subtle. From the sky, the Air Force receives emergency coordinates. Drones, attack helicopters, and fighter jets converge over Neusiedlat. The order is brutal and clear: create a wall of fire around the stranded vehicle. Missiles hit the surrounding buildings where the snipers are firing from. The ground trembles. Dust blankets the streets, obscuring the militiamen's vision. At the same time, on the ground, the heavy cavalry goes into action. Merkava tanks from the 7th Brigade, transports, Armored vehicles from the Givati Brigade and paratroopers break through their barricades. Refugees open an escape corridor. It's a total war. Within a 500-meter radius, the trapped team abandons the disabled vehicle. They run under fire, shielding Almog, Andre, and Shlomi with their bodies. They manage to get into a second armored vehicle that has made its way through the debris, but they're still not safe. They have to reach the coast. The escape route is a hell of fire. They even fire anti-aircraft missiles at the helicopters trying to approach the beach. A rescue helicopter pilot spots Gaza's beach. He lands almost on the shore with the blades kicking up sand and sea foam. The commandos push the hostages toward the helicopter. They lift Arnold Zamora's stretcher. The medics are already trying to revive him, but there's too much blood. The helicopter takes off under heavy fire. At 1:33 p.m., the wheels touch down at Sheva Hospital in Tel Aviv. It's over. The news spreads like wildfire throughout Israel. People cry, applaud, and hug each other in the streets. The video of Noah hugging his father, Yaakov, goes around the world. Her first question is not about her own torture, it's about her mother, who has terminal brain cancer. Noah arrives just in time to say goodbye. Andre reunites with his mother and tells her 3 words that bring tears to her eyes. In Malibu, Iktor Unil, his hop concert. But while Israel celebrates a miracle, the hospital confirms the tragedy. Chief Inspector Arnon Zamora didn't make it. He left behind a wife and 2 children to save 4 strangers. In his honor, the army changes the name of the mission. It's no longer Summer Seeds. Now and forever it will be Operation Arnon. Will it go down in military history books alongside Entebbe? It was a demonstration of precise intelligence, deception, boldness, and an almost irrational physical courage. He taught us that he never uses civilian infrastructure, not just to hide but to imprison. The hostages weren't in dungeons, they were in a family's living room while the children played outside. But above all, he reminded us of the fragility of freedom. For Noah, Almoch, Andre, and Shlomi, June 8th was the day they were born again. For Arnon Zamora, it was his last day. This operation stands as a reminder of how far a nation is willing to go to bring its children back at any cost. As we can see, the war in the shadows never rests, and neither do we. If you want to access files that others ignore and understand the operational reality behind the headlines, tap the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. See you in the next report.